Now, the rest of the story.
I guess you could say I'm saved by the weather. It's currently February 20th and it feels, well, it doesn't feel like February 20th. The sun goes down and the temperature just drops off. But during the day, it is actually warm enough I don't need my heavy coat. Went through, and this is the first, well, second cut grass these guys have had in quite a while. The bulls are getting alfalfa, but I had to go through. We brought all the hay that I had away from home and brought everything back, so at least all my feed is right where it's going to be fed out. No more worries there, I guess. I mean, the weather is nice. I mean, good road conditions, but a little bit of waste here, guys. Come on. I did not go to all this trouble collecting all this lawn clippings for you to spill it. It's actually not their fault. It's actually from me dumping it in. I overshot the feeder just a little bit, but we're looking at the bottom right now. But if you guys can see, I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but it's actually got some green to it. This is from, well, the neighbor's place down there, and yeah, it's excruciating cutting this stuff because it's not very tall, especially when you're taking a second cutting in the fall. Like, it's Dad, Ryan, or I talk to any of us when it goes to cutting it. It doesn't seem like it's much taller than your yard clippings would be if you let your yard get overgrown for 2 or 3 weeks. But the stuff is thick, so it does actually add up. The windrows are really fluffy, and the problem I have with tearing up that field and reseeding it, let's say like alfalfa or anything, is because it does have a bunch of reed canary, albeit I kind of trying to do it that way, but I think the reed canary is being carried up from the bottom. So when we go to make first cut, the reed canary grass, when we go to cut first crop, is already headed out. So you get all that canary seed built up on the disc bind mower on the hood. Ugh, yuck. Shouldn't talk and fling grass around. And the neighbor's place has a pretty wicked crop of reed canary coming up in it, and that definitely helps with the tonnage. Because if I could have 100% reed canary down there, I'd do it in a heartbeat. That's actually some really nice feed. The only thing that burned me is my second cut reed canary last year got rained on, and my cows are picky. They were spoiled last summer. I mean, I'm guilty of it, and it's my fault. And the problem is they really did not want to go through and eat any of the grass I was giving them from the rained on stuff from down at the valley. And this stuff that we're feeding out, all right, black cat, is actually the stuff we managed to get made before it rained on it, and the quality is night and day difference. You guys are noticing the gates open and the cows are staying in. My buddy says he can't do that. His cows would take off on him, but when everything's brown like this, there's nothing out there for him to go after other than more hay. I'm not worried about it too much. But this stuff, this is all second cut. It looks gray on the screen. I'm hoping it's showing, but it's actually green. Oh, the camera's not picking that up, but it's actually green. A little bit of mold, but not really what I was worried I was gonna have. But this bale, come here, this is off the bench. Come on, girls. And this is the first time all winter where they've actually gone for the grass bales more than they are going for the fodder. They love that corn fodder. Excuse me. Excuse me, please. This stuff is off the bench, and it's greener yet. It's got some foxtail in it, which I'm not super duper crazy about, but I'll deal with it. Definitely got that green to it. And that's why I'm making this video tonight, not tomorrow, because I don't think there's gonna be much here come tomorrow. We're usually going every other day feeding these guys. 2 fodder bales and a hay bale. As you can see, This is day 2, and they were just really starting to eat on that grass bale, and the fodder was actually underneath here. And it'd be interesting to see what's here left tomorrow. I was giving them the corn and gluten to help sustain them from, you know, lack of really good quality feed. The question being, well, why didn't I give them the good quality grass right off the bat in the winter? Well, it's because I had a bunch of this lower quality stuff to feed out. The corn fodder isn't exactly ideal, but there's plenty of people that say that they only feed corn fodder all winter. You got to make sure that they're getting their minerals and stuff so they're not going backwards in conditioning. But you don't need to look at me. As far as just giving them corn fodder, you got to make sure that they're not going backwards in conditioning. These guys are due to start calving in just over a month, March 27th to May 27th, I believe. And a few of them, quite a few of them, are really showing signs that calving is right around the corner. This is a heifer from last year, so you can see the size difference from the heifer. That black, well, the black ones on either side of her are will be first calf heifers, and this one will be put out with the bulls in June. So really happy there. They were not happy not getting their daily buckets of corn gluten, because they've been getting that now for over a month. I'm pretty sure they created some new words to call me tonight. At least that's what they were really seemed to be trying to get across when I was putting the bales in. And the goal tomorrow, I don't want to say it's a goal, but the short term, with everything being as dry as it is, that's about the only snow we really got, is in the tree lines. And what snow is there is not very deep. The ground is dry. I hear people are actually in the field doing tillage. Our fields are dry enough where I'm comfortable going through and hauling a bunch of manure out, which normally, I don't know what's normal anymore, to be honest with you. But anymore, you don't really figure you're going to be cleaning out your lots, you know, like your final cleanup out of your lots, until like April or so before planting. But I'm looking forward to actually cleaning this all out for the most part. We can clean the shed, clean this pile in front of the shed, then around where the feeders are, and get everything back down to concrete, and it'll cut down the amount of manure we're gonna have to haul here in another month and a half, 2 months. And everybody's screaming early spring. It's really easy to say that right now because it's still February, and it feels like I could be checking fence and doing a lot of other stuff, but not to, you know, be Debbie Downer here, but the last time I was checking fence in February was 2012. Now, those of you remember what 2012 was? We've been in a drier pattern for the last few years, and they always said, from what I remember, and everybody tells me, is, well, 2011 was dry and it led up to 2012. Well, thing about 2012 is I actually got rained out in June, rained out cutting hay, and we ultimately, you know, had a pretty nasty year that year. So you can still have rain and mess up your daily plans, I guess, but not enough rain to save your crops. But the cows seem good. I mean, they look a lot better than they did a month ago, not gonna lie. Giving them the good quality grass right off the bat, because I know I don't tell my stories in, you know, linear fashion, versus giving them, I don't know, I'm only down to 10 or 12 of these bales. Left is the rained on bales, and that's not it. I'm thinking, I know there's only 13 of them, because that's what we hauled up, plus, yeah, so maybe 15 at the most, of those rained on second crop reed canary bales. They don't want to eat them, but I refuse to let them go to waste. So when I was giving them the corn fodder, and then 2 corn fodder and 1 grass bale, they were going through and they were eating through them. I had a hay tester. They did a test on the hay quality of it, and the protein was actually really good. I believe it was, what, 12% protein, and we were expecting like single digits at best. So when you're giving them the low quality stuff first, they're not as close to calving. I would rather they do their mineral, the corn gluten I was giving them, and then what they're getting out of the stalks and that grass. Now when calving is a month away, I would rather switch to giving them the better quality second cut grass that's, you know, actually got quality to it, and lead that up into calving and through calving. Hopefully they'll milk better while they're on this stuff. And ultimately, I was short on feed. I don't have a whole lot of these bales left. Down to, I only had 42. I only had 42 of these better quality bales. So as far as wanting to just feed them all out right off the get-go, back to what I said in the beginning of the video, my cows are spoiled. So them being spoiled, if I would have went from this stuff, fed that up until now, and then switched over to the stuff that they really don't want, I'd worry about what that's going to do for their potential calves that they're going to be dropping here. I just want to make sure that they're not off feed, or I'm not struggling to get them to eat when I really do need them to be eating the most. So it's when it's most important. Anybody that's wondering why they're missing some patches of hair, it looks like they're scratching, they're lousy. I treated them for it, and on the worst cow, I can already see the hair is coming back, but they start scratching. They get on the corner of the barn there against the concrete. You can see it's all wore down over many years of doing that, and you know, try to get the itch to go away. So that's all I got for tonight. I'm grateful that the weather was mild. Mild winter really saved my butt this year. I mean, yes, it's only February. Yes, we could have a bunch of crappy weather in March into April. But just the fact that I'm sitting where I am now with the amount of, well, the condition the cows are in, which is they're sitting really good. The feed that's on hand and the amount of bedding that we still have, I'm looking like getting into spring isn't going to be a nightmare. I got to do a little bit of dirt work where they're going out into the pasture. I meant to do that now instead of talking to you guys. I got to build up their ramp so they're not dropping off the lot into the pasture, because to be completely honest, with the pasture being dried up like it is, and I'm not worried about grass starting to grow yet, there's really no reason that I couldn't open the gate up and let them out to the pasture. If they want to go lay out in the pasture, they can. I mean, I am making sure that we got plenty of bedding through here. Haven't really had to use the shed. I mean, yes, it's open, but haven't really been, haven't getting carried away with trying to keep it bedded, because it's a hassle with the bigger machine. The Bobcat's easier to get in around the corner, but overall, I don't want to say that we're out of the woods yet, but I'm feeling a lot better going forward from here on than what I was when we were in the end of November, 1st December, not knowing what we had coming for winter yet. Because the January, when we had the cold spell, that's all it was a cold spell. The cold weather didn't last very long, and yeah, it gets down to maybe in the teens at night, but then during the day it was 57 degrees today, and from what I read of the weather forecast, it's supposed to be like 50s, mid 60s here yet this week. So the best time of the year for a drought is the winter. As long as the rain comes back, or we get tummy rains throughout the summer, we'll be fine. So time will tell, but I gotta go feed the bulls and go pick up Calvin, because my boy Calvin, because currently he's inside terrorizing Grandma. Oh, it's the other way around. Grandma's terrorizing Calvin. I'm gonna probably have to, distract Grandma so I can get Calvin out of the house. So, all right, well, stay tuned for more videos. I'll talk to you guys later.